Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a season in your life when God does not call you to explain. He calls you to elevate. A season when your silence becomes your shield and your focus becomes your strength. 2026 is not the year to argue, announce, or advertise your next move. It is the year to become so rooted, so refined, so disciplined that your results speak louder than your voice ever could. Too many people miss their moment because they are too busy reacting to distractions that were never assigned to them. Every opinion doesn't deserve your energy. Every criticism doesn't require your response. Some battles are not meant to be fought with words. They are meant to be won with growth. When you focus on yourself, you are not being selfish. You are being strategic. You are stewarding your time. You're calling your mental health and your faith. Silence is not weakness. Silence is often the language of maturity. It means you trust the process enough not to defend it. This is the year to stop explaining why you're changing. People who benefit from your old habits will always question your new discipline. Let them talk. While they are busy watching your mouth, God is busy working on your foundation. You don't need applause while you're in construction. Builders don't talk much. They measure, cut, align, lay bricks, and brick by brick, quietly, consistently, they create something that lasts. In 2026, become the builder of your own life. Focus does not mean isolation. It means prioritization. It means you know what deserves access to you and what doesn't. Not everyone needs to know your plans, your prayers, or your pain. Some things grow better in the dark before they bloom in the light. Silence sharpens discernment. When you stop talking, you start hearing God more clearly, hearing your own thoughts more honestly, and hearing what truly matters. Noise confuses purpose. Stillness strengthens direction. There is a misunderstanding in the world today, a lie that has been whispered in the ears of many. That silence is a sign of weakness, that those who do not speak at every opportunity, who do not defend themselves at every slight, who do not respond to every criticism are somehow less than. But let me tell you today, silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. Silence is not surrender. It is strength. Silence is not ignorance. It is maturity. Water does not rush to prove itself. It does not fight to show its depth. Yet, when storms come, water carves valleys, nourishes life, and shapes the world. Silence is like water. It does not need to announce its power, because those who understand recognize it instantly, and too often the world mistakes those who are silent for those who are small. But quiet people, disciplined people, those who choose their words carefully, they are the ones who are building, growing, and preparing for the next level of life. You see, speaking at the wrong time, defending yourself too quickly, or reacting to every opinion is a trap. It scatters your energy, weakens your resolve, and distracts you from your purpose. But when you learn the power of silence, you learn the art of discernment. You learn to weigh what deserves your attention and what does not. You begin to realize that some battles are not yours to fight, some opinions are not yours to answer, and some storms are not yours to calm. Silence allows you to conserve your strength for what truly matters. The work God has placed in your hands, the vision He has planted in your heart, the legacy He is preparing through your life. Wisdom is often quiet. The most intelligent person in the room does not always speak first. They listen, they observe, they analyze, and then they act. There is power in restraint, in holding your tongue until the moment is right, until your words carry weight, until your voice is needed. Maturity is knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Maturity is understanding that not everyone will understand your journey. Not every misunderstanding requires explanation. Some things are better left unspoken because God works in ways that cannot always be explained to human eyes. Think of the greatest leaders, the greatest prophets, the wisest people in history. They understood this truth. They did not chase attention. They did not respond to every rumor. They did not waste their energy on those who were not ready to understand. They focused on their work. They strengthened their character. They let their lives speak. And when the world finally saw what had been happening quietly in the background, they had no need to defend or justify. Their results were undeniable. Their impact was unmistakable. Their success was evident. This is what silence accomplishes. It allows your life to be your testimony. Silence is also a shield. It protects your mind, your heart, and your peace. Every word you speak has energy. Every reaction you make consumes strength. And when you are constantly engaged in battles that do not belong to you, you lose focus on the battles that do. But when you remain silent, when you focus inward, you create space for God to move, for wisdom to grow, for your spirit to be strengthened. You preserve your energy for things that will matter in eternity, not just in the moment. Do not misunderstand me. Silence is not the same as weakness, nor is it the same as apathy. It is not ignoring the world or running from responsibility. It is a conscious choice. It is a deliberate act of discipline. It is maturity in action. It is the courage to hold your peace when the world demands noise. It is the strength to resist the urge to prove yourself constantly. And it is the wisdom to know that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. There is a certain beauty in watching someone who is silent yet intentional. Their eyes are observing. Their mind is analyzing. Their heart is learning. Their silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. And when they finally speak, their words carry weight. Their voice commands attention. Their message changes lives. The world does not see the hours, the days, the years of quiet growth. They only see the impact, the result, the transformation, and that is the reward of silence. Too many people fail to understand that silence is part of the journey of maturity. They speak too soon, react too quickly, and exhaust themselves in the process. But those who learn to remain silent, who learn to focus on themselves, who learn to hold their peace, are building a foundation that cannot be shaken. Silence allows reflection. Silence allows learning. Silence allows wisdom to emerge. Silence allows God to move in ways that words cannot contain. 2026 is a year for silence. Not because the world needs you quiet, because you need yourself quiet. In the quiet, you will discover strengths you didn't know you had. In the quiet, you will gain clarity about your purpose. Quiet, you will hear God's voice more clearly than ever before. And in the quiet, you will learn the most important lesson of all, that you do not need to justify your journey to anyone. You do not need to explain your choices. You do not need to defend your peace. Silence, my friends, is the language of wisdom. It is the art of maturity. It is the evidence of self-control. It is the foundation upon which true greatness is built. When you remain silent, you are not invisible. You are intentional. You are not weak. You are wise. You are not lost. You are growing. You are creating a life so powerful, so aligned, so unstoppable that when the time comes, your words will no longer need to convince anyone. Your life will have already spoken for you. Embrace silence. Stop proving yourself to people who will never understand. Stop arguing with the noise that surrounds you. Stop reacting to every opinion, every comment. Criticism. Instead, focus on yourself. Grow, strengthen, build, pray, reflect, plan, and in the quiet, let God do what only He can do. Let your spirit rise. Let your wisdom deepen. Let your maturity shine. And when the world finally listens, it will not be because you shouted. It will be because you were prepared, you were disciplined, and your life spoke louder than any words ever could. Silence is not weakness. It is wisdom. Silence is not surrender. It is strength. Silence is not ignorance. It is maturity. And those who understand this truth will rise above the noise, above the chaos, and above every distraction, walking boldly into the destiny God has prepared for them. There is a truth that many people fail to grasp in life. Focus is not merely a habit. It is a statement that you respect yourself enough to protect your time, your energy, and your purpose. When you truly understand focus, you realize that it is not just about completing tasks, achieving goals, or chasing dreams. Focus is about honoring yourself, valuing the life that has been entrusted to you, and refusing to allow distraction, chaos, or the opinions of others to dictate your direction. Every day, you are bombarded with voices, opinions, and interruptions. People demand your attention, distractions scream for your energy, and temptations lure you into the things that do not build your destiny. And in the midst of all this noise, tries to convince you that being busy is the same as being productive, that responding to every call, message, or demand is the same as being strong. Real strength, true power, and lasting success do not come from reacting to the world. They come from mastering your mind, controlling your energy, holding your focus sacred. Focus is a form of self-respect because it says, I will not be scattered. I will not allow nonsense to steal my peace, not compromise my calling for the approval of others. When you focus, you are declaring that your life is too valuable to be wasted on distractions, drama, or meaningless pursuits. You are declaring that your dreams, your goals, and your purpose deserve your full attention. Focus is a refusal to settle for mediocrity, a refusal to live small, and a refusal to allow the chaos of the world to define your path. It is a daily act of respect for the life God has given you. But focus is not easy. It requires discipline. Discipline is what keeps you consistent when motivation fades. Discipline is what allows you to continue moving forward, even when the road is difficult, lonely, or uncertain. Discipline is what separates those who talk about change from those who actually live it. Focus without discipline is like a ship without a rudder. It may move, it may drift, but it will never reach its destination. Discipline channels your focus into results. Discipline teaches you patience, persistence, and perseverance. It allows you to withstand temptation, ignore distraction, and remain steadfast when the world says, give up. Consider the story of every great achiever. The most successful people in history, those who changed the world, those who built empires, those who left a mark that will last for generations, they all mastered the art of focus and discipline. They knew what mattered, they knew what didn't, and they refused to allow their attention to be stolen by anything that would not serve their purpose. They had boundaries, routines, and habits that protected their time. They understood that how you spend your hours is how you spend your life, and they honored every minute with intentionality. That, my friends, is the marriage of focus and self-respect. Focus also requires sacrifice. There will be things you want to do, things you want to say, and things you want to chase that do not align with your vision. And when you choose focus, you are choosing to say no to those things. Saying no is not weakness, it is strength. Saying no is not rejection, it is protection. Saying no is a declaration that your life, your purpose, your calling are more important than temporary pleasures, fleeting attention, or the expectations of others. Each no you speak in pursuit of focus is a statement of self-respect and discipline, because it shows that you value your destiny more than distraction. Focus allows you to build momentum. Small, consistent, intentional actions, when protected by focus, accumulate into extraordinary results. When your attention is divided, progress becomes slow, direction becomes unclear, and frustration becomes frequent. Focus is the soil in which success grows. Discipline is the water that nourishes it. Together, they cultivate a life of purpose, impact, and fulfillment. Without focus, talent, opportunity, even divine favor can be wasted. With focus, even ordinary resources can produce extraordinary outcomes. In 2026, the world will demand your attention more than ever. Social media, notifications, pressures, and expectations will all call for a piece of you. And it is tempting to respond, to be everywhere, to try to please everyone, and to chase every opportunity. But I tell you today, protect your focus. Guard it as if it were your most precious possession, because it is. Focus is what allows you to live on purpose. Focus is what allows you to accomplish your mission. Focus is what allows you to rise above mediocrity and step fully into your calling. Every time you choose to protect your attention, you are practicing self-respect. Every time you choose to remain disciplined in your habits, you are building a life that cannot be shaken. Focus also strengthens your faith. When your mind is clear, your heart is aligned, and your energy is protected. You can hear the voice of God more clearly. You can discern His direction, recognize His opportunities, and walk in obedience with confidence. Distraction clouds your vision, chaos confuses your path, and impatience weakens your resolve. But focus creates clarity. Focus creates strength. Focus creates a life that is intentional, powerful, and aligned with divine purpose. Focus is not selfish. It is sacred stewardship. Discipline is not restrictive. It is empowering. Together, they honor the gifts, the time, and the destiny that God has entrusted to you. When you live with this understanding, every choice becomes purposeful, every action becomes intentional, every day becomes a step closer to the life you were meant to live. Protect it fiercely. Guard it from distraction, protect it from chaos, and nurture it with discipline. Let your life be a testimony of intentionality, self-respect, and the power of disciplined action. Let the world watch as you rise, not because of noise, but because of clarity, purpose, and steadfast focus. Focus is not just a habit, it is a form of self-respect. Focus is not just effort, it is a declaration of discipline. And when you combine the two, you create a life that cannot be shaken, a life that cannot be derailed, and a life that is destined to leave a mark on the world. There is a lie the world wants you to believe, that every voice demanding your attention deserves to be heard. Every opinion about your life deserves a rebuttal, and that every judgment requires your defense. But I am here to tell you today, every opinion deserves a response. In fact, the very act of responding to every opinion can be a trap, a distraction, and a way to steal your peace, your progress, and your purpose. Every day, the world tries to tell you who you are, what you should do, and how you should live. People have opinions about your choices, your failures, your successes, your faith, and your dreams. And if you are not careful, you can spend your entire life reacting to voices that do not matter, voices that are not aligned with your destiny, and voices that will never truly understand the journey God has placed you on. Responding to every opinion is like trying to fill a bucket with water that has holes in it. It is exhausting, fruitless, and never-ending. Silence, restraint, discernment are not signs of weakness. They are signs of strength. The ability to choose when to respond and when to remain quiet is a sign of wisdom. There is power in knowing that you do not owe the world an explanation for your life. There is authority in understanding that defending yourself against every critic is unnecessary when your life already carries the proof of your character and your progress. Every opinion has weight, not every judgment carries truth, and not every voice deserves access to your energy. People will always have something to say. Some opinions are rooted in ignorance, fear, or jealousy. Others come from misunderstanding, bitterness, or a lack of perspective. And yet, far too often, we give these opinions power over us. We react with anger. We argue with intensity. We waste our focus defending ourselves against those who are not on our level, who do not see our vision, and who do not understand the journey we are walking. Responding to every opinion is giving others the authority to dictate your emotional state, your decisions, even your destiny. Not every opinion deserves a response because your life is not a debate to be won. It is a mission to be lived. The energy you spend trying to prove yourself to critics, doubters, and naysayers is energy taken from the work God has called you to do. You cannot build, grow, or create when you are constantly distracted by voices that seek to question your worth, diminish your faith, or challenge your integrity. To remain silent is not to submit, it is to protect your purpose. To choose when to respond and when to stay quiet is not cowardice, it is courage. There is a level of maturity in understanding that not everyone's opinion carries authority over your life. Some people will always doubt you. Some people will always misunderstand your actions. Some people will always try to provoke a response from you, and you cannot let these opinions dictate your peace. You cannot let them derail your progress. You cannot allow them to determine your happiness or your sense of self. Not every opinion is a reflection of truth, and not every voice is worthy of engagement. Consider the greatest leaders, the most accomplished people, and the wisest individuals throughout history. They understood this principle well. They did not waste time defending themselves against every critic. They did not justify their vision to every doubter. They did not let the opinions of others disrupt their focus, their faith, or their work. Instead, they moved quietly, intentionally, and with purpose. They allowed their results to speak louder than any argument, their integrity to shine brighter than any criticism, their life to carry the message that mattered most. When you respond to every opinion, you give power to what is powerless. You allow trivial matters to occupy mental and emotional space meant for greatness. You invite distraction into a life that is meant for focus. But when you learn to discern which voices matter, which feedback carries wisdom, and which opinions are worth your attention, you reclaim your power. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your destiny. You choose peace over conflict, clarity over chaos, and progress over petty arguments. Responding is not always wrong. There are moments when engagement is necessary, when truth must be defended, when justice must be spoken. Those moments are rare, intentional, and guided by purpose, not reaction, not pride, not fear, and not insecurity. The majority of opinions you encounter are not designed to help you. They are designed to test you, provoke you, or distract you. The greatest wisdom is learning to recognize them, resist them, and move forward without compromise. Choosing not to respond is an act of self-respect. It is a declaration that you value your peace, your purpose, and your calling above the approval or disapproval of others. It is an acknowledgement that your life is too valuable, your time is too limited, and your energy is too precious to be spent convincing everyone of your worth. Every voice deserves a platform in your life. Not every critique deserves a stage. Not every judgment deserves your attention. Silence also allows growth. When you stop reacting to every opinion, you create space for reflection, learning, and discernment. You can listen to wisdom where it exists, absorb correction when it is constructive, and ignore what is harmful or irrelevant. Silence is not submission. It is a strategic pause. It is a moment to protect your mental and spiritual energy, allowing you to focus on the things that truly matter: your purpose, your relationships, your faith, and your growth. When you live this principle consistently, your life will begin to speak for itself. Your progress, your character, your results, and your faith will become the most compelling response to those who doubt, criticize, or misunderstand you. You will not need to justify yourself. Your life will carry the proof. Your actions will be louder than any words, and your results will be undeniable. Those who matter will see it, and those who do not will remain irrelevant. So, in 2026, guard your words and your responses carefully. Measure the opinions you choose to engage with, and learn the art of discernment. Protect your peace, preserve your focus, and prioritize your purpose. Every opinion deserves a response. Not every voice deserves your energy, and not every criticism deserves a place in your life. Respond wisely, or do not respond at all. Let your life, your growth, and your success be the answer to a world that often speaks without understanding. You do not have to prove your worth to anyone but yourself, and the one who called you to your purpose already sees your value. Every opinion deserves a response. And when you embrace that truth, you free yourself to live a life of focus, purpose, and divine impact. There is a season in every life when you must step away from the noise, the opinions, and the distractions of the world. A season when your most important work cannot be shared, announced, or displayed. A season when what you are building, what you are becoming, God is cultivating in you is meant to remain private. Too often, people mistake visibility for progress. They think that success must be loud, growth must be visible to be real. But I am here to tell you today, growth requires privacy before visibility. Before a seed becomes a tree, it is hidden underground. Before a pearl is revealed, it is formed in the quiet depths of the ocean. Before a masterpiece is displayed in a gallery, it is shaped, refined, and perfected in the solitude of the artist's studio. Life works the same way. The things that are destined to last, the breakthroughs, the transformations, the victories, often begin in a season of privacy. God moves in silence, strength is built in stillness, and character is developed in solitude. Too many people are impatient to be seen. They want recognition before refinement. They want applause before alignment, credit before character, and in their rush for visibility, they expose their weaknesses, invite criticism prematurely, and sabotage their own growth. The truth is, visibility too early can be dangerous. It can bring jealousy, distraction, and misunderstanding. But privacy protects the work in progress. Privacy allows mistakes to be corrected. Privacy allows failures to teach lessons without the burden of public scrutiny. Privacy allows growth to be authentic and lasting. When you are in a private season, it does not mean you are inactive. It does not mean that God has forgotten you. It does not mean you are unimportant. On the contrary, this is when the real work is happening. This is when your faith is being strengthened, your skills are being honed, your mindset is being shaped, and your heart is being prepared for the next level. This is the time when you learn patience, resilience, and humility, the kind of qualities that will ensure that when your time comes, your visibility will not be fleeting, but fruitful, impactful, and lasting. Growth requires privacy because what is built in secret becomes unstoppable in public. There is a difference between the person who is constantly seeking validation and the person who is quietly developing excellence. Validation is fleeting, approval is temporary, but skill, character, and spiritual depth are eternal. The world may not see your effort today, but tomorrow the results will be undeniable. Your private discipline becomes your public testimony. Your unseen preparation becomes your visible triumph. Consider every great achiever, every visionary, every leader who has left a mark on history. Their progress was not always public. Their victories were not always broadcast. Many of the lessons they learned, the struggles they overcame, and the character they built were forged in private. They did not seek recognition while they were growing. They sought refinement, and because they understood that growth must precede visibility. When they finally emerged, they were ready for the impact, the responsibility, and the influence that followed. Privacy also shields you from unnecessary comparison. When you are constantly visible, you are constantly measured. People compare your journey to theirs. They judge your timing, your methods, your progress, and often this leads to doubt, discouragement, and distraction. But in privacy, you can focus solely on your own path. You can work at your own pace. You can trust the process. You can measure success by the growth within you, by the applause of others. Privacy allows you to grow without pressure, without judgment, and without the weight of expectation. Growth in private also builds authenticity. When no one is watching, you can face your weaknesses honestly. You can confront your fears directly. You can fail and try again without the burden of shame or pretense. You can cultivate skills, wisdom, and character that are real, not performative. And this authenticity will follow you when you step into visibility. People can tell the difference between those who have been refined in pride and those who have only learned to perform in public. Your private growth becomes your lasting legacy, and your visible life becomes a reflection of depth, preparation, and divine alignment. There is also a spiritual dimension to privacy. God often moves in the hidden places of your life. He whispers in the quiet moments, refines in the unseen struggles, and strengthens in the seasons when the world is unaware. Just as a master sculptor chisels away the rough edges before revealing the final masterpiece, God is shaping your life in private before revealing your destiny. The season of privacy is not a pause. It is a preparation. It is a refining fire. It is a divine investment in the future you are about to step into. Your breakthrough does not require an audience. Your blessing does not require an announcement. And your success does not require applause. It requires preparation, discipline, patience, and obedience. It requires privacy. It requires a willingness to stay hidden, to work quietly, to trust God with the timing of your visibility. When you embrace this principle, you will find peace in the process, joy in the journey, and confidence in the knowledge that when your time comes, it will come fully equipped with everything you need to succeed. Too many people rush visibility. They want attention before alignment. They want recognition before refinement. They want validation before victory. And in that rush, they expose weaknesses, invite unnecessary criticism, and risk losing the very thing they are trying to achieve. The person who understands the value of privacy knows that growth cannot be rushed. That transformation takes time. That excellence requires focus. That readiness cannot be faked. Privacy allows you to build a foundation so solid that when visibility comes, it cannot shake you. Protect your growth. Guard your time. Shield your work from unnecessary exposure. Prioritize preparation over performance. Learn in private, pray in private, build in private. When the time is right, step into visibility fully equipped, fully confident, and fully prepared. Your life be a testimony that what is nurtured in private becomes powerful in public. Growth requires privacy before visibility. Your journey, your preparation, and your work are sacred. Do not rush them, do not flaunt them, and do not allow the noise of the world to dictate their pace. When you honor this principle, you honor yourself, your purpose, and the divine plan that is unfolding in your life. Your private season will become your public victory. Your hidden efforts will become undeniable results. Unseen growth will become a legacy that inspires generations. There comes a moment in every life when you realize that you are no longer the person you used to be. You have changed. You have grown. You have overcome. You have been refined, reshaped, and renewed. And yet, so often, the first instinct is to explain, justify, or defend this transformation to the world. I am here to tell you today, stop explaining your transformation. Your life does not require approval. Your growth does not require validation. Your purpose does not require permission. Transformation is a process that happens over time, often in private, often in the unseen places of your life. It begins in silence, in prayer, in reflection, in moments of struggle and discipline that no one else witnesses. It is forged through failures, refined by trials, and strengthened by persistence. Transformation is sacred, and it is personal. It is a work of the spirit, of the mind, and of the heart. And because it is sacred, it does not need to be broadcast to the world. Too many people fall into the trap of explaining themselves because they want to be understood. They want others to see their growth, acknowledge their change, recognize the effort it took to get there. But here's the truth: not everyone will understand your journey. Not everyone has the perspective, the patience, or the wisdom to see what God has been doing in your life. And that is okay. Transformation is not about the crowd, the approval, or the applause. Transformation is about alignment with your purpose, your calling, and the divine plan that is unfolding in your life. When you explain your transformation to others, you risk cheapening it. You risk inviting judgment, criticism, or misunderstanding into what is sacred. You risk turning a personal victory into a public debate. People may question your motives, doubt your sincerity, or misinterpret your intentions. And in doing so, you give away the peace that comes from knowing who you are becoming. True transformation does not need explanation. It needs action, consistency, and results. Let your life be the proof, not your words. Consider the power of silence in transformation. When you stop explaining yourself, you create space for God to work unhindered. You create space for wisdom to deepen, character to strengthen, and clarity to merge. Silence allows your transformation to mature naturally without interference from doubt, criticism, or expectation. It allows your spirit to grow in authenticity without the need to perform, prove, or justify. And when your transformation is complete, the world will see it clearly without any explanation from you. Explaining your transformation often comes from a place of insecurity. We worry that if people do not see the change, they will not believe it. We fear that if we do not defend our growth, someone will misjudge us. But let me tell you today, your transformation is not dependent on recognition. It is dependent on your obedience, consistency, and faithfulness. You do not need to explain how you overcame, how you healed, or how you improved. You do not need to justify why you set boundaries, pursued new paths, or embraced a new mindset. Transformation is for you first and foremost. Those who truly matter will recognize it naturally. Transformation also requires patience. The process of becoming a new version of yourself cannot be rushed. It cannot be validated by others. It cannot be confirmed by opinions. It requires quiet effort, private discipline, and persistent faith. In the season of transformation, the less you speak about it, the stronger it becomes. The more you protect it from external scrutiny, the more resilient it grows. And when it is ready, the results will speak so loudly that no explanation will ever be necessary. Think of the examples of every great achiever, leader, or visionary in history. They did not need to explain the changes they were making. They did not need to defend the hours, the discipline, or the sacrifices. They focused on the work, trusted the process, allowed their transformation to unfold. And when the world finally saw the results, the transformation itself was undeniable. This is how transformation works. It is quiet, it is private, and it is powerful. Those who feel compelled to explain their transformation often reveal that it is incomplete. True transformation is confident in itself, does not need justification. There is also a spiritual principle here. God works in ways that the world cannot always see. He moves in the hidden places, shaping your heart, refining your character, and preparing your destiny. When you feel the need to explain your transformation, it may be because you are seeking human validation rather than divine confirmation. But the opinion of man cannot define your transformation. Only God can. Stop explaining to people what God has already revealed to your heart. Stop trying to convince the world of what it cannot understand. And trust that in His timing, your transformation will be fully visible to the right people. Stop explaining your transformation because it allows you to embrace freedom. Freedom from judgment, freedom from doubt, freedom from the need to perform, freedom to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your character, your purpose, and your destiny. When you are no longer preoccupied with explaining yourself, you can give your energy to what truly matters. You can invest in your faith, your skill, your relationships, and your vision. You can live boldly, act intentionally, and rise powerfully without apology or justification. Let your transformation be a testimony, not a debate. Let your life be the proof of your growth, your healing, and your breakthrough. Let your character, your achievements, your faith speak louder than any words ever could. When you stop explaining your transformation, you stop giving energy to doubt and criticism, and you start giving energy to creation, manifestation, and impact. You become unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniable. Embrace the process. Honor your journey. Protect your growth. Guard your peace. Stop explaining your transformation. Let it be sacred. Let it be quiet. Let it be powerful. When the world finally witnesses what you have become, there will be no need for explanation. The results will speak for themselves. The impact will be evident, and the legacy will be undeniable. Your transformation is yours to live, not theirs to understand. Do not justify. Do not defend. Not explain. Trust the process, honor your journey, and allow your life to be the proof. Stop explaining your transformation and start living it boldly, fully, and unapologetic. There is a truth in life that many people struggle to understand. Talking about what you will do does not make it happen. Announcing your intentions does not bring results. Declaring your dreams loudly does not guarantee fulfillment. Words are powerful, yes. There is something far more powerful than words, and that is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between vision and reality. Discipline is the quiet force that transforms talk into action, plans into results, and potential into purpose. And make no mistake, discipline speaks louder than words. We live in a world that celebrates noise. The loudest voices often get the most attention. Social media rewards the person who boasts, brags, or proclaims their success before it is even real. People are quick to talk about what they will do, what they are capable of, or how they will change the world. But here is the truth: words are empty without follow through. Anyone can speak. Not everyone can act. Anyone can promise, but not everyone can persist. Anyone can dream. Not everyone can discipline themselves to turn that dream into reality. Discipline is the proof that words are not empty. They are backed by action. Discipline is not about showmanship. It does not require recognition. It does not seek applause. Discipline works in the quiet hours when no one is watching. It is waking up early when the bed is warm and the body is tired. It is saying no to distractions, temptations, and things that do not serve your purpose. It is consistent practice, relentless focus, and refusal to give in to laziness or impatience. Discipline is doing what must be done, even when you do not feel like it, even when no one else cares, and even when the results seem far away. That is the kind of discipline that transforms a life. Words can inspire for a moment, but discipline builds lasting results. Anyone can make promises, but only the discipline will follow through. Anyone can dream. Enough, but only the discipline will endure the grind necessary to make those dreams real. Anyone can talk about change, but only the discipline will live it step by step, day by day. The world may not notice your discipline at first because discipline is often silent, patient, and unseen. But over time, the results speak for themselves. Discipline is the voice that cannot be ignored, the language that cannot be misinterpreted, proof that talk alone cannot provide. Consider the people who have achieved extraordinary things. They did not do it because they talked the loudest or declared their intentions the most. They did it because they were disciplined. They showed up when it was inconvenient. They persisted when others quit. They refused to allow excuses, emotions, or distractions to dictate their actions. Discipline carried them through failures, setbacks, and seasons of doubt. And when their results finally appeared, the world could see the truth. Words alone do not build legacies, discipline does. Discipline speaks louder than words because it communicates credibility, consistency, and character. People may question what you say, but they cannot question what you do. People may doubt your promises. They cannot deny the results of your consistent action. Discipline proves integrity, strengthens faith, and demonstrates that you are serious about your life. It is a silent authority that earns respect not through boasting, but through doing. And when discipline is practiced long enough, it becomes unstoppable, undeniable, and unshakable. Discipline also protects your time, energy, and focus. Talking about your goals may make you feel productive. It does not produce results. Discipline ensures that your energy is invested in meaningful action, that your time is aligned with your priorities, that your focus is unbroken by the noise of distractions or the temptation of shortcuts. Discipline is the guard that shields your progress from laziness, procrastination, and the opinions of others. It allows you to keep moving forward. Even when the world is chaotic, the path is uncertain, and the results are not immediate. Faith and discipline go hand in hand. You can speak about belief all you want, but without disciplined action, faith becomes ineffective. Discipline is acting on the promises God has given you, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Discipline is putting in the work, maintaining consistency, and trusting that effort compounded over time will produce results. Words may declare your intention to succeed. Discipline ensures that your success is real, tangible, and sustainable. Discipline is the antidote to empty talk. It silences critics because the results speak for themselves. It transforms ideas into accomplishments, dreams into reality, and potential into achievement. Anyone can talk, but few will act. Anyone can promise, but few will endure. Anyone can dream, but few will persevere. Discipline is the separator between those who merely talk and those who truly become. It is the proof that your life is not defined by what you say, but by what you do. Even in moments of difficulty, discipline proves its worth. When challenges arise, when motivation fades, when the world seems against you, discipline carries you forward. It does not rely on emotion or temporary inspiration. It relies on commitment, consistency, and courage. Discipline does not waver. When the outcome is delayed, it persists until victory is achieved. And that is why discipline speaks louder than words, because it never quits, never falters, and never needs validation. Let your life be a testament to this truth. Stop relying on words to prove your intentions. Stop seeking validation through declarations and announcements. Stop trying to convince others of your ability, your faith, or your potential. Instead, cultivate discipline, build routines, protect your time, guard your focus, prioritize what matters. Show up when it is hard, persist when it is inconvenient. Work in the quiet, and in time, the results will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Discipline does not only speak louder than words, it outlives them. Words can be forgotten, ignored, or misinterpreted. Discipline creates legacies that endure. Discipline builds wealth, wisdom, and character. Discipline shapes lives, transforms communities, and honors God. The world may see the results before it understands the process, but it cannot deny the impact. Discipline is silent power in motion, consistent effort that defies opposition, and relentless focus that cannot be stopped. Let discipline be louder than your words. Let action replace talk. Let consistency replace promises. Let results replace explanations. Be someone whose life demonstrates what is possible when words are matched with action. Faith is backed by effort, and when dreams are pursued with relentless discipline. Let your life be proof that discipline speaks louder than words. Anyone can talk, but only the discipline can transform words into reality. Speak less, act more, and let your life be the loudest declaration of your commitment. Your focus and your purpose. Discipline is not easy, but it is effective. Discipline is not flashy, but it is powerful. Discipline is not immediate, it is eternal. And when you live with discipline, your life will speak with authority, clarity, and impact in ways words never could. There is a powerful truth that too many people fail to grasp. Not everything that demands your attention deserves it. Not every invitation, not every comment, not every situation is meant for you. Some things are distractions in disguise, assignments designed to pull you off your purpose, delay your progress, waste your energy. And here is what you must understand: distractions are assignments you must decline. They are not opportunities, they are traps. They are not detours, they are diversions. And if you want to fulfill your destiny, you must learn to say no, to protect your focus, to guard your life fiercely. Life is full of noise. Every day the world screams for your attention. Social media floods your mind with stories, opinions, and comparisons. People will demand your time, criticize your choices, or try to involve you in battles that do not belong to you. Opportunities disguised as distractions will appear. Temptations that seem harmless will test your self-control. And if you are not careful, you will spend your life responding, reacting, and engaging with things that pull you away from your true purpose. The moment you understand that not every assignment is yours to accept, everything changes. Distractions are dangerous because they feel urgent. They scream loudly, demand quick responses, and make you feel like you must engage. But urgency is not always importance. Not everything that wants your attention is aligned with your calling. Not every crisis is yours to solve. Not every invitation is a step forward. Distractions are designed to exhaust your time, steal your energy, and weaken your focus. And if you say yes to every distraction, you will never have the clarity, consistency, or peace required to fulfill the life God has planned for you. Learning to decline distractions is not easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and courage. Saying no is uncomfortable. It can make people upset. It can bring criticism, judgment, or misunderstanding. Here is the truth: protecting your life from distraction is not selfish. It is strategic. It is an act of wisdom. It is a declaration that your time, your energy, and your purpose are valuable. Every distraction you decline is a victory for your focus, your growth, and your destiny. Distractions are like storms on a clear day. They may appear sudden, loud, and overwhelming, but they are not part of your journey. They are tests. A test to see whether you will allow your attention to be stolen, your peace to be disrupted, and your vision to be blurred. Those who succeed in life are not necessarily the ones with the most resources, the most talent, the easiest path. They are the ones who have mastered the art of declining distractions. They have learned that focus requires boundaries, purpose requires protection, and that progress requires the courage to say no. Declining distractions also strengthens your spiritual life. God calls you to focus on what He has assigned to you. He calls you to pursue your vision, walk in obedience, complete your purpose without being sidetracked by things that are not yours. When you allow distractions to consume your attention, you are saying yes to the world and no to your destiny. You are trading peace for chaos, progress for delay, and clarity for confusion. When you recognize distractions as assignments to decline, you align yourself with God's plan and demonstrate wisdom, faith, and discernment. Think about every great achiever, every visionary, and every person who has left a lasting impact on the world. They all mastered this principle. They understood that saying yes to every demand, every temptation, or every voice would dilute their energy, scatter their focus, and steal their peace. They learned to discern which battles were theirs, which opportunities were aligned with their purpose, and which assignments were distractions meant to delay their destiny. And because they declined distractions, they were able to move with precision, confidence, unstoppable momentum toward their goals. Distractions also waste time, the most valuable currency of life. Every minute you spend reacting to something that is not aligned with your purpose is a minute you cannot get back. Every hour you allow your focus to be stolen is an hour lost from your growth, your discipline, and your preparation if you want to fulfill your calling. You must protect your schedule, prioritize your goals, and refuse to allow anything that does not serve your destiny to claim your attention. Declining distractions is not about being rigid. It is about being wise. It is about valuing your future more than the temporary noise of the present. Every assignment is worth your yes. Some things will test your patience, drain your energy, and steal your peace. Some situations will demand your time, but deliver nothing in return. Some people will invite you into conflict, comparison, or chaos that will slow your progress. And here is the key. You have the power to decline these assignments. You have the authority to say no. You have the responsibility to protect your life. Saying no to distraction is a statement that your purpose matters more than temporary discomfort, that your vision is worth protecting, that your peace is non-negotiable. Distractions also disguise themselves as opportunities. They appear exciting, urgent, and tempting, promise instant gratification, recognition, or reward. But if the opportunity is not aligned with your purpose, it is not a blessing, it is a diversion. The moment you accept it, you trade progress for delay. You exchange clarity for confusion. You sacrifice focus for chaos. The truly successful know that every opportunity must be filtered through the lens of purpose. Not everything that glitters is gold. Every assignment is yours to accept. Discernment is your weapon against distraction. In 2026, this principle becomes even more important. The world is louder, faster, and more demanding than ever. Notifications, messages, opinions, and expectations will compete for your attention every day. If you want to step into the life you were meant to live, you must practice saying no. You must learn to discern decline and protect your energy. You must treat distractions like assignments that you are not required to accept. Every yes to the right thing is a no to the wrong thing. Every no you give today preserves your focus, your peace, and your destiny. Distractions are assignments you must decline. They are not your responsibility. They are not your burden. They are not your calling. They are tests of discipline, faith, and wisdom. When you decline distractions, you honor your time, protect your energy, and safeguard your future. When you decline distractions, you free yourself to pursue what truly matters, align with your purpose, and walk boldly in the plan God has for your life. I will not be distracted. I will not be derailed. I will not allow the noise of the world to steal my focus. I will discern carefully, protect my energy, and decline every assignment that does not align with my destiny. I will focus on what matters, grow in private, pursue my purpose relentlessly. For in the end, it is not the noise, the opinions, or the distractions that define me. It is the focus, the discipline, and the courage to say no that will carry me to greatness. There is a rhythm in life that many people have forgotten, the rhythm of stillness. In a world that glorifies speed, noise, and constant activity, stillness is often overlooked, undervalued, and dismissed as inactivity. But I am here to tell you today, stillness strengthens spiritual and mental clarity. It is in the quiet moments, the pauses, spaces between the chaos that your mind finds focus, your heart finds peace, and your spirit finds direction. Stillness is not laziness. Stillness is not inaction. Stillness is preparation, reflection, and alignment with the divine purpose in your life. The truth is, when you are constantly moving, responding, and reacting, your vision becomes clouded. Your priorities get blurred. Your decisions are made under pressure instead of clarity. Your emotions dictate your actions instead of discipline and wisdom. The world teaches us to equate business with productivity, noise with importance, and speed with success. But this is a lie. True power, insight, and effectiveness come not from constant motion, but from stillness that allows your mind and spirit to process, reflect, and receive guidance. Stillness strengthens mental clarity because it creates space for reflection. When you stop long enough to think deeply, to analyze without distraction, to examine your life objectively, you begin to see patterns, understand motives, and recognize solutions that were invisible in the chaos. Your mind becomes sharper, your decisions become more deliberate, your focus becomes precise, and in this state of mental clarity, you are able to distinguish between what truly matters and what is unnecessary noise. You are able to prioritize your actions in a way that accelerates progress instead of scattering energy. Stillness is not only a tool for mental clarity, it is essential for spiritual clarity. God speaks in whispers, in pauses, in the quiet corners of our lives. The louder the world becomes, the more we need stillness to hear Him. In stillness, you can pray without distraction, reflect on His word, listen for the nudges, confirmations, and corrections that guide your path. In stillness, you allow your spirit to catch up with your body, your purpose, your calling. And in stillness, you find peace that surpasses understanding, a clarity that cannot be rushed, an insight that is eternal. Stillness is also a form of discipline. In a culture of constant stimulation, to stop, pause, and be quiet requires intention. It requires courage to resist the temptation to fill every moment with noise, activity, or distraction. It requires wisdom to understand that stepping back is not stepping down, that pausing is not failure, and that reflection is not weakness. Stillness demands that you prioritize what truly matters, that you invest in your mental and spiritual health, that you protect your energy from unnecessary depletion. Consider the way nature works. Rivers carve valleys not through noise and chaos, through persistent flow over time. Trees grow strong roots before they reach for the sky. Seeds germinate underground before they break through the soil. Growth, strength, and clarity take time, reflection, and quiet preparation. Your life works the same way. Stillness is the soil in which wisdom grows, the root system of spiritual insight, and the foundation for mental strength. Without it, your growth is shallow, your clarity is limited, your progress is fragile. Stillness also helps you discern the difference between what is urgent and what is important. When you are constantly moving, it is easy to mistake noise for opportunity and distraction for direction. You can be busy all day and accomplish nothing of lasting significance. When you embrace stillness, you are able to step back, evaluate, and focus on what aligns with your purpose. You learn to respond intentionally instead of react impulsively. You learn to trust the process rather than be consumed by temporary chaos. And in that space, your mind becomes a tool of precision, not confusion. Spiritual clarity emerges from stillness because it allows God's guidance to take root. When your life is noisy, chaotic, and distracted, it is easy to miss the signs, messages, and confirmations that God sends. But when you practice stillness, you open the door to divine direction. You hear what is often drowned out by the clamor of the world. You see opportunities that were invisible in the business. You understand your purpose more clearly, and you are able to align your actions with your calling. Stillness is a form of faith. It is trusting that clarity, guidance, and strength will come when you pause long enough to receive them. Stillness strengthens your emotional resilience as well. Life is full of storms, unexpected challenges, and moments of uncertainty. Without stillness, you are reactive, easily swayed by fear, doubt, and frustration. With stillness, you can pause, breathe, and process before responding. You can think strategically instead of emotionally. You can act from a place of wisdom instead of impulse. In moments of stillness, you cultivate patience, perspective, and poise, the qualities that allow you to navigate life's challenges with confidence and grace. Stillness is also a statement of self-respect. To stop, pause, and center yourself signals that you value your own mind, spirit, life enough to protect it from constant chaos. It says, I will not allow the noise of the world to dictate my peace or confuse my purpose. It is a declaration that your clarity, your growth, and your alignment with God's plan are more important than temporary appearances, unnecessary distractions, or external pressures. Stillness honors your life, your calling, and your destiny. In 2026, this principle becomes even more critical. The world will demand your attention like never before. Noise, distraction, and pressure will compete for your energy every day. But the person who embraces stillness will have an edge. They will make better decisions, maintain emotional and spiritual balance, and navigate their purpose with precision. They will achieve clarity that others cannot reach because they have invested in reflection, prayer, and focused thought. Stillness is not passive, it is active preparation for victory. Stillness does not mean inactivity. It does not mean laziness. It does not mean ignoring responsibilities. Stillness is the pause that precedes clarity. It is the preparation that precedes action. It is the reflection that precedes wisdom. It is the discipline that strengthens your mind, fortifies your spirit, and aligns your life with purpose. In stillness, your thoughts are sharpened, your heart is centered, and your soul hears the guidance that will lead you to breakthrough. So in this season, stillness a priority. Protect your quiet time. Step away from distractions. Pause to reflect, pray, and think deeply. Listen for the guidance that only emerges in the silence. Allow your spirit to recharge, your mind to clear, and your clarity to deepen. Let stillness strengthen your spiritual and mental clarity so that every action, decision, and step you take is purposeful, aligned, and powerful. Stillness strengthens spiritual and mental clarity. It is in the quiet that your mind becomes sharp, your spirit becomes attuned, and your path becomes clear. The world may glorify business, but those who master stillness hold the key to wisdom, insight, and victory. Step into the quiet, embrace the pause, allow your clarity to guide you to a life of power, purpose, and peace. There is a lesson the world struggles to teach, one that every successful person eventually learns: results speak louder than words. In a culture obsessed with announcements, social media updates, and self-promotion, many people feel compelled to proclaim their intentions, brag about their efforts, publicize their plans before anything has been accomplished. But true power, influence, credibility are not built on announcements. They are built on results. Let results introduce you, not announcements. Let your life, your achievements, and your consistency do the talking for you. Words are easy. Anyone can declare what they will do, outline their goals, or promise the world a vision of success. Words without action are empty. They create expectation without substance. They invite judgment before proof. They offer a story that may or may not ever become reality. Announcements may impress momentarily, but they rarely convince permanently. Results, on the other hand, are undeniable. Results are proof. Results are authority. Results cannot be ignored, misinterpreted, or disputed. Results speak in a language everyone understands: action, impact, achievement. There is a spiritual principle in this. God honors those who work faithfully in private before seeking recognition in public. Scripture reminds us that those who sow diligently, faithfully, quietly will eventually reap a harvest they cannot hide. When your efforts are consistent, disciplined, and aligned with purpose, they produce outcomes that cannot be denied. These outcomes introduce you in a way words never could. Your life becomes a testimony of perseverance, wisdom, and integrity. Your results carry weight because they are backed by action, not hype. Announcements can be a trap. They often invite judgment, comparison, and scrutiny before the work is done. They create pressure to perform prematurely, and sometimes they set the stage for disappointment if the results take longer than expected. Announcing your intentions may attract attention, but it rarely builds trust. People will always question whether your words match reality. But when you let results speak for you, there is no need to defend, explain, or justify. Your success, your growth, and your achievements tell the story naturally, powerfully, and permanently. Consider the great achievers in every field: leaders, innovators, and visionaries. They rarely spent time announcing their plans to the world. They focused on the work, invested in the process, allowed their actions to create impact. Their results became their introduction. When people finally took notice, it was impossible to argue with their credibility. There was no debate because the evidence of their effort and excellence was visible for all to see. Your life can be the same if you prioritize results over announcements. Let results introduce you because results are lasting, tangible, and undeniable. Words may be forgotten, ignored, or dismissed. Announcements may fade into noise, but results endure. They carry influence. They command respect. They inspire confidence. When your life produces measurable outcomes, people recognize your value even without you explaining it. This is the difference between fleeting recognition and enduring legacy. Announcements may earn applause, but results earn respect, trust, and authority. Another reason to let results speak is that results protect your peace. Constantly announcing your intentions places your life under unnecessary scrutiny. Every step, every failure, every delay is magnified in public. Every mistake is exposed to criticism. Every doubt from others becomes a distraction. When you focus on results instead of announcements, you work in your own rhythm. You prioritize growth over approval, impact over opinion, discipline over applause. Results allow you to maintain peace while still achieving purpose. Letting results introduce you also develops humility. It reminds you that the work matters more than recognition. The effort, consistency, and persistence become the foundation of credibility, self-promotion, or ego. Humility allows you to focus on what matters: preparation, execution, and improvement. You build authority quietly, steadily, and undeniably, rather than chasing the temporary satisfaction of public attention. Results create a reputation that cannot be fabricated, inflated, or faked. Announcements cannot do that. There is also a strategic advantage to letting results speak first. Announcements may invite competition, sabotage, premature expectations. They can alert others to your plans, giving them the opportunity to oppose or imitate you. Results, however, allow you to build in secret, refine in private, and reveal at the right moment. They give you control over time and an impact. They allow your life to unfold on your terms, creating authority that is respected rather than debated. Results become your platform. Announcements only become noise. Furthermore, letting results introduce you strengthens your credibility in every area of life. In relationships, in business, in leadership, and in personal growth, people trust what they can see. Actions confirm intentions. Achievements validate effort. Results prove that words were not empty. Announcements may promise what is possible, but results demonstrate what is real. People see what you have accomplished. They no longer need convincing. They are naturally drawn to the evidence of your excellence. In 2026, this principle is more relevant than ever. The world will encourage you to seek attention, to broadcast your efforts, and to validate yourself publicly. If you want to rise above superficial recognition and achieve enduring influence, you must resist the urge to announce prematurely. Focus on your work, your consistency, and your purpose. Let your actions produce results. Let your discipline, dedication, and persistence create undeniable proof of your ability, integrity, and vision. Allow your life to speak for itself. Results introduce you, and announcements do not. Let your life tell your story. Let your achievements confirm your intentions. Let your actions demonstrate your commitment. Speak less, act more. Allow the impact of your work to do what words never could. Announcements may impress for a moment, but results inspire, command respect, create a lasting legacy. So in this season, focus on producing results, prioritize action over words, refine your skills, commit to discipline, and align your efforts with purpose. Protect your energy, work quietly, and trust that when the time is right, your results will speak louder than anything you could ever announce. Let the world see your excellence, not your promises. Let them recognize your achievement, not your declarations. Let your life, fully lived and fully executed, be the introduction that no announcement could ever match.